People love to buy, but they hate to be sold. Hey, I didn't come up with that, but I've kind of adopted that as my motto. Hi, this is Bob Vineyard, the Georgia Medicare Minute. We're going to talk about that for just a moment. There's a guy named Jeff Gitomer, Gitomer. I think that's the way you say his name. If I butchered it, I apologize, Jeff. I've given you the credit at least. But one of his phrases is, one of his sayings is that people love to buy, but they hate to be sold. And that's really the approach that I take and have taken for quite some time now, most of my career, to be quite honest. I don't try and sell people something that they don't want, they don't need, and they can't afford. That's not going to make any friends. You're not going to get referrals off of that. And eventually somebody's going to wake up and smell the coffee and realize, why did I listen to that guy? I should have done this, or I should have done that. So, I just basically what I do is I try and educate people. I answer their questions and provide them with answers. And most of the time I can give you the answer right off the top of my head. Sometimes I have to go up and look it up, which I do. But people are looking for information. A lot of times people say, all I want is just the rates. Okay, if you want the rates, I'll email it to you. You have a good day. I don't pressure people. I don't withhold information. Good Lord, what's that going to do? All it's going to do is tick them off, and it's not going to get me anywhere with them. So no, I'll send out the rates. I send out the rates on all the carriers, based on the plan that you want and your zip and county and age and so forth. So, why make it difficult on people? But it's interesting the way some people react and they go about this. I had a fella hit my website a few days ago. And as far as I know, all of his information was correct, except for his phone number. It was 404-555-1212. That's a bogus number. I didn't have to even call it up to find out that number is not in service or anything like that. So I don't play games with people. If they want to play games with me, let them go right ahead. It doesn't bother me a bit. I just move on. As a matter of fact, working off the assumption that his email was valid, I sent him basically a "I'm closing your file" email, and I tell them in that what they have missed out by basically not being willing to talk to me. And I usually put at the top of the email, so they can see it without even opening it, you gave me an invalid phone number. That was the case here. Sometimes it's other things. Mickey Mouse is on there, Donald Duck, Minnie Mouse, it's kind of like, yeah, okay. If it says Tony Soprano, I might go ahead and say, I better call this guy at least. But no, I just sent him a letter and said, or sent him an email and said, hey, I'm closing your file, and you didn't give me a valid number. Well, the guy actually responded. Most of the time I don't even hear from him. The guy actually responded. He said, I didn't give you a number because I didn't want a sales pitch. Well, here's the deal. You weren't going to get a sales pitch from me. You see, I don't care if you buy or not. I would hope that when you do decide to buy, that you allow me to be your agent. But until you give me some indication that you value my advice, I don't care if you buy or not. It really isn't my problem. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with you either. Yeah, I'm giving away the secrets here. And I've had a few people take advantage of me. I'm going to do something. I've just got to, all kinds of answers and so forth. And sometimes I get sucked into it, and sometimes I call their bluff. It just all depends. But I got news for them. If you do treat me like that, don't ever come back and say, a year later or 2 years later or 3 years later, hey, I should have listened to you. Can we do something now? And my answer is going to be no. You get one chance. I don't care if you don't think that's fair or not. It's my business model, and that's the way I work it. So, yeah, the guy that didn't give me a phone number because he didn't want to be sold something, well, I can guarantee you he's either going to be sold something by somebody else, or he's going to end up buying a product or a plan or choosing a carrier that he's probably going to regret within a couple of years. That's just the way it is. And that's, that may seem to be proud and boastful, but it's not. Heck, I've been in this business for over 45 years. I've been in the Medicare business exclusively for the last 10 years. I'm on Medicare myself. I've probably seen more crap and more tricks than all of you combined out there. So, that's just the way it is. I had another situation recently. I was referred to, this guy was referred to me by his sister-in-law, who has been a longtime client. And the conversation started last year. This is 2019. This is October 2019. Conversation actually started, I think it was in March of 2018, a year ago. He was going to be turning 65, or maybe he was already 65. Was planning on retiring, coming off his group plan. I don't remember, but in any event, he needed to know what had to be done in order to get him enrolled in Medicare sometime in the next few months in the summer. And so I told him, and I spent a lot of time on the phone with him, as I always do. I sent him a very detailed email that shows him exactly what he needs to do in order to enroll in Medicare, when he needs to do it, and providing him with links and everything. And I said, here's some information, general information on Medicare supplement plans, but the first thing that you need to do is get enrolled in Medicare, and then we can get into more detail about the rest of it. Well, I never heard anything from him for, 6, 7, 8 weeks or so. And then he comes back and he says, well, you didn't give me any rates. I don't know what you want. It's this dialogue thing. Let's have a little bit of dialogue. You tell me what you want, and I'll tell you, I'll give you the information. It's, again, this doesn't have to be a knockdown, drag out, and so forth. But anyway, so he said, well, I think I'm interested in Plan F and I'm interested in Plan G. I'm not really decided, haven't really decided which one. And I said, well, I'll tell you right up front, F plan is overpriced, plus it's going to be going away for most people, not you, but for most people, starting in 2020. But, in round figures, you're going to end up paying about $400 to $500 a year for an F plan. You're going to pay that much more than you would pay for a G plan. And the only difference in the two is F pays all of your deductibles, including your Part B calendar year deductible, which this year is $185, and the G plan does not. So do you really want to pay an insurance carrier $400 or $500 to cover a $185 deductible? Probably not. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and send you the rates anyway. So I did. I sent him the rates. This is, again, April of 2018. I sent him the rates, gave him some more information relative to the questions that he had. And I don't just say, here's a rate, take it. I give detailed information. It shows the carriers, it shows their premiums, it's sorted from the lowest premium to the highest premium. Why keep it secret, for crying out loud? At some point, you're going to ask me, well, who's this carrier with the low rate, and this and that and so forth. And let's just get it out in the open. Again, that's just the way I do it. So I sent him that, and I said, if you're still planning on going on Medicare in June or whatever it was, we need to do something quick. Let me know if you've got other questions and we can talk about it. Months went by, I never heard from him. And then just a few weeks ago. Now this is November of 2019. It's a year and a half later, just a few weeks ago. He called me up and he said, well, I went ahead and bought a Medicare Advantage plan because, I never heard back from you and I needed to make a decision in a hurry. And I said, well, you didn't hear back from me because I didn't hear back from you, which came first. But in any event, I don't call people and badger them. I don't track them down. I don't park outside their house and watch and see if the lights are on and go knock on the door. I don't do that. I don't have to chase people. I'm not going to chase people. And if that's what you want, you go find somebody else. So anyway, he said, I went ahead and bought a Medicare Advantage plan, and now I think I want to go to a supplement plan. So I bought this Medicare Advantage plan from Aetna, and I just talked to the folks at Aetna, and they went ahead and approved me for a plan in Medigap. What have you got that's better? I said, well, why are you talking to me? You've already made one decision without me, and then you made another decision, and you say, but hey, if you've got something better, I'll go with you. Yeah, I'm buying that. I am. And I said, all right, you still trying to decide between two plans, or do you definitely want the N plan? He said, well, I think I might want the G plan, but I'll get that from you. I said, all right, we're going to try this one more time. Let me send you the rates for G plan and for an N plan, and once you see the difference in the premium, tell me which way you want to go, and we'll talk about it. So I did, and I didn't hear back from him. And he came back, just recently. This was, like I said, a couple of weeks later, and he said, well, you never gave me anything. I said, do you ever open your email? He said, you never gave me anything. I thought you were going to tell me what I should buy. And it's like, no, I don't tell people what they should buy. Well, I've been in sales for over 40 years. And I've trained people, and I've never seen anybody so difficult. When I want to buy something from you, you won't let me do it. And I said, well, you may remember that when we talked a couple of weeks ago, and I said, all right, I'll send you the information, but we need to move quickly because you only have a few weeks to get an underwriting decision from another carrier. And right now it's taking 3-4 weeks, and that's really cutting it kind of, well, Aetna approved me on the spot. And I said, well, sound like that's what you need to do. So, like I said, he came back to me and he said, I'm trying to buy from you. And I said, well, it sure doesn't seem like it. So, I don't know. It's one of those things you can't seem to win. But I ended up, I told him goodbye several times, but he kept on coming back. And now, we're looking at 3 weeks before open enrollment is over. Plus, we got Thanksgiving in the middle. There's no way in the world he's going to get a decision from anybody before December the 7th. So I just basically said, wish you luck. Sorry it didn't work out. You have a nice day. And that's what you got to do sometimes. Type A personalities don't work too well with somebody like me. I'm a little bit too laid back for them, and I've just never had anybody tell me, I wanted you to sell me something. Well, sorry to disappoint you, bud. It doesn't work that way. Okay, enough of that. This is Bob Vineyard, your Georgia Medicare expert with the Medicare Minute. You take care and have a great day.